Okay, welcome everyone to class 7 of our Shabbat series. Okay, we'll have one more, be class 8. So what I thought we'd talk about today is a lot of the concepts that you might hear on a typical Shabbat, words, phrases, things that the announcer might be announcing, but that sometimes we've, for many, many years, may not have known what they mean. And actually, it's funny because as I was preparing this class with someone, he said that a friend who was a student in the LA Center, that for years she's been studying, and she just learned a concept which we all take for granted in terms of the announcing what it really means. Because if you really think about it, most of what a person learns on Shabbat, they will only learn by virtue of someone leaning over their shoulder and telling them, this is what I heard it means. And that's pretty much it. Because we don't have much or any classes that teach about this. So that's why it's going to be very powerful. We're going to go through some series of meditations. And what I think is the most powerful is we're going to go over the structure of what is a real blessing. So when we say Baruch, Atah, Hashem, etc., 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 we will see according to the dimensions what's happening to the energy. And every time that you say a blessing on anything for that matter, if it's our hands, if it's food, if it's candles, whatever it may be, you will now have an additional consciousness for the rest of your life to tap into that awesome power. Okay? Does that sound exciting to you guys? Okay, very nice. All right. So let's start with, maybe if you guys can also turn off your phones. Turn off your phones. Let's go to our first slide. All right? First slide. During the Kaddish, right? What is the Kaddish? Kaddish comes from the word kadosh, which means holy. And the Kaddish is a prayer that we say, this is slide number 3, which is our first slide really. Kaddish is said when there's an elevation that's occurring. Okay? For example, we learned that if we are traveling through spiritual worlds, okay? We have the spiritual worlds that we travel through. As I go from Malchut, right? Malchut is the mud. It's when I feel challenged. It's when I feel that things don't go my way. We all need to experience Malchut, at least in the day, throughout the week. We need to feel like I'm not getting what I want. This is Malchut. And when I feel and experience Malchut, then I work through it. I do restriction. Because the only way to get out of Malchut is to do restriction. Is to be like the higher dimensions. So then I climb and I feel elevation, I feel revelation, I feel amazing things happening to me. But as I climb, I get to the next world and the next Malchut, right? So every time I go from one level to another, I experience again a form of negativity, a form of Satan. Although it is at a higher level, there's still Satan waiting for me at this higher level. And this is why it's always important for a person to constantly have a desire for the light and the fear of disconnecting from the light. So what are the two things? A desire and the fear of what? Fear of disconnecting. And majority of the texts speak about these two concepts. If a person doesn't desire the light, it's never going to come. That's the bottom line. And if a person is not afraid of disconnection, he will disconnect. When he gets to his test, he won't be ready for it. He will fall. He will short circuit. He will fall down to a lower level. And it's very important to know that there's malchuts waiting for us. That just because I passed one test, maybe there's another malchut waiting for me 10 minutes later. So I need to be aware. I read something so powerful in the writings of Rav Ashlag. Rav Ashlag says, every time a person has clarity, he disconnects himself from the light. Isn't that amazing? It's like frustrating and amazing at the same time. When I have clarity about my life, purpose, Kabbalah, I'm disconnecting from the light. Why? Because I'm receiving clarity. So I'm receiving. So I'm no longer like the light. And the longer a person basks in his receiving mentality, the more he disconnects himself. Now I only understood what the Rav and Karen used to always say when people would come up and stand next to the Rav and Karen after they just had a baby, they just got married, something amazing happened. What do they always say? What do they always say? At the most amazing events, they just got married. They want to thank the Rav and Karen, and what else do they say? Lianara. We'll never forget what the Rav and Karen did for us. And we will be here forever. So the Rav usually turns to Karen and says, they'll be out of here in the first year. And you ever heard this joke? It's very popular in the center. Every time someone says, I know for sure Kabbalah is my way, my path, I'm clear about it, I will be here forever, the Rav would always turn to Karen and say, 1, 2 years tops. And it happens every time. Think about all the people who had miracles. They couldn't have a child, and all of a sudden they had a child. They finally met their soulmate here at the center. They grew. Miracles beyond their wildest dreams, and they promised they would never go anywhere. And all of a sudden they disappeared. Why? Because they had clarity. It's so dangerous to have clarity. It's actually better to be those students that are never clear about anything. And meanwhile, you're working hard every day and revealing the light every day and pushing and growing. But you never get that little bit of satisfaction of if it's all clear to me right now. Our lives do improve. But we may not get that clarity that we so much. It's like the pleasure, like the little chocolate cake. We don't get that. As soon as you get it, you're disconnected. So now, do you want clarity or do you not want clarity? It's good to run after clarity, but what do you do when you get it? Yes?
Maybe you'll talk about this, but sometimes I do feel like when on Shabbat, I'm really clear about what I need to do with my life. After Shabbat goes away, then that's another story.
Amazing.
What I do on Shabbat, I do see, and I'm excited about it. It's funny, I know exactly what I need to do, but when Shabbat is over, then it changes.
Very good, right? So he said that on Shabbat he has clarity, and then after Shabbat, no clarity. So here's the question: what is a powerful Shabbat? And the Rav would say it again. I love quoting the Rav because the Rav says such powerful statements. The Rav says on 10 luminous emanations about when people came to the Rav and said, the best Shabbat ever. It all made sense. And the amazing connection. So the Rav shares the story that he had with Rav Brandwein. After the first Shabbat he had with Rav Brandwein in Jerusalem, the Rav came to Rav Brandwein and said, that of all my years studying Torah and being in religion, that was the most powerful Shabbat I ever had. I was flying. So what did Rav Brandwein tell the Rav? You didn't connect to anything. Then you didn't connect at all. What? But I thought, so here it is. In the moments that you feel nothing and you push, you have certainty beyond logic, it's called. Certainty beyond logic. Certainty beyond what? Logic. Whenever I have certainty beyond logic, I'm connecting. That's connection. That's connection. That's Kaddish. That's connection. Whenever I feel clear, I'm not connecting. I'm disconnecting. At the moment, I'm disconnecting. I'm connecting to energy, but I'm disconnecting for the future. So when am I building my future? When am I saving money up for the future? Only when I feel nothing, and I'm doing within the feeling of nothing. It's an amazing concept. So whenever I have clarity, what do I need to do with it?
Push it away?
Push it away. How much do I got to push it away? Can't I just enjoy? Everyone thinks this question. And you can enjoy and you can push away at the same time. It's not even 50-50. It's 100-100. Enjoy and push away. Do you really enjoy sitting there, holding and cradling your clarity? No, we don't enjoy that anyways. It's just the most convenient and easy thing to do, that's all. We actually enjoy having clarity and pushing it away at the same time. Try it. You'll have double enjoyment, double the pleasure. And that's how you'll connect with the light. So what is Kaddish? Kaddish in Aramaic, every time you have Aramaic, it's like an injection of light, no matter if you've earned it or not. That's what Aramaic is. We've learned that before. It's to cheat the angels. injection of light when you've earned it or not. And every time we're about to go to another spiritual world and we're about to confront Malchut, Kaddish is there in order to build the vessel to overcome Malchut consciousness. And that is why we announce Kaddish, twice light. Because if you look at the word Kaddish on slide number 3, and then you look at the word or, Aleph Vav Resh, right below it, you see that Kaddish's numerical value 414. What is Kaddish numerical value? 414. You see or is numerical value 207, exactly half of Kaddish. So when we say Kaddish is twice light, we're saying Kaddish is numerical value twice of light. Now what are the two lights we're talking about? There's two lights. There's light that comes directly from the Creator. We call it direct light. Right? Then there's another light. Direct light, that's clarity. I got it. It came to me. I let it in. That's my life. That's not Kaddish. That's death, actually, because we say Kaddish when someone passes away. You understand? It's when they die. When someone connects too much direct light, they die. That's all death is. It's too much direct light. When a person every day of their life, more direct light, more pleasure, let it all in. Now I retire, that's death. Let it all in, direct express to me. So we have Kaddish is like the vessel that the person never had while he was alive, which is the returning light. It's a different light that comes from us. The returning light actually builds a vessel. Returning light. Returning light. These are the two lights that we're talking about. Kaddish is twice light. We need two lights, the consciousness of two lights. So every time I say Kaddish, I need to immediately push away any gratifying energies that's in me right now. Oh, why push it away? I want to let it in. No. If I let it in too much, it's direct light. I die. Do I want to die or do I want to live? It's a paradox. Our body is programmed to receive. We need to tell our body, stop doing what it's programmed to do. By rejecting. Just by every time you hear Kaddish, I'm overcoming Malchut consciousness. I'm about to elevate. And as a result, I want to push away any gratifying pleasures I have right now. Even if I'm sitting comfortably in my chair and I hear Kaddish is twice light, oh, I'm enjoying this chair too much. Let go. Sit in the chair. Enjoy it, but also meditate to let go. Create both lights. Our job is to create both lights. Don't beat yourself up that you're enjoying. Enjoy, but create the second light, the returning light. Does that make sense? The problem is people are living their life with just one light, not two lights. We're not saying that it's bad to enjoy and bad to have great things. Have those things and make sure you have a secondary light that builds a vessel. Secondary light is built through the consciousness of restriction. Let it go. I don't want it. When I'm sitting there and I want to thank the Rav and Karen, say on one hand, maybe I want to be with the Rav and Karen for the rest of my life. I hope that the light will make sure I never disconnect, because as far as I know, I'll disconnect tomorrow. That's the way you should run a speech with the Rav and Karen. Say, I know Satan can take me away in 1 week. I pray that I have the light I need to be with the Rav and Karen. That's what we say. Not, I know I will. I'm certain about it. This is a guaranteed disconnection. Guaranteed. Because it's a direct light. Take 30 seconds. Share the concepts with the person next to you. Go for it. Okay, please, questions. Questions you may have. Questions. Any questions? Yes.
The thing you said, the consciousness of restriction, letting it go, and then you went into, I pray that I have the light to be with Rob and Karen, but not, I know I'll have the light. I got confused.
It's not, you can never say, I know I will have the light to be with Rav and Karen. I hope, not even I hope. It's, I pray, it's that fear element. I'm afraid that I won't. So I want that additional light to be able to hold the light of the Rav and Karen. You understand? It's like, you have to state that you want to build this light all the time. And you have to be afraid of not building the light. A fear of disconnection is a fear of not having returning light. A fear of disconnection means the fear of not being able to do restriction. A fear of disconnection is a fear of being reactive, of being angry, of being selfish, of being too comfortable. Everyone has the disease of being too comfortable. Okay? Yes, last question.
Can you re-explain the concept of Kaddish and returning light?
Kaddish is the numerical value 414, which is twice that of the word light, which is numerical value 207. So within the word Kaddish has the energy of two types of light. The two types of light is the direct light, which is available to us all the time, and the returning light, which is the light that we push back. We return it. So it becomes like two lights because they're going in opposite directions. Right? Most people in the world, they know how to connect to which type of light? Direct light. Very few people in the world create returning light. So Kaddish is the power to give us the strength to do returning light, especially as we're elevating to spiritual worlds, because Kaddish will appear every time you're about to elevate to a new reality. And in a new reality, which dimension do you have? Malchut, which is the challenges, the doubts, the fears which will come up every time we're about to go to our next level. Okay? Now, I want to play a little tape of the Rav on the 10 luminous emanations that he gave. I think it's tape 157B. And it's very powerful. It talks about restriction. So try to hear it as best as you can. And you'll hear some other people in the background. Those are the students that were sitting with the Rav in Queens in the basement discussing about the secrets of creation. So please.
Taxes, and then summer comes from the word Masach. There's so much illusion involved in taxation, obviously. Anyway, in any event, he's repeating what we have already discussed once before. There is no Masach in Ketach Mavina. And that seems to be a contradiction to what we learned yesterday, right? It seems to be a contradiction. But, you see, he's not a scientist, he said, I'm giving you the law. Now, when I state that there's no Masach, I'm telling you why there's no Masach. Because in that you would never connect to the reality of yourself. Because the reality of yourself is the encircling lights, right? The lights, the me that I said made it look like I don't know me, right? That the reality of me, what's good for me, what I should be doing, everything around me should be enclosed, right? That's what we requested, because of bread of shame. Put me into an illusion so things won't be so clear, and I'll have to earn this. How do I get clarity? Remove bread of shame, restriction. We learned that. By the way, but if there was no way that I could connect to reality, my Ketach Bina was also involved with the Masach. Could I ever come to reality? Could I ever come to reality if Masach was also in Ketach Bina of me? Could I come to a reality? Never. I'd have the trap of Masach following me wherever I am. How could I ever come to a total understanding? That's why the one who's real stupid, he does restriction all over, you see. He's constantly, in his stupidity, connected and accessing all the information. But he's stupid, because he's always saying, no, I don't need so much. No, I'll give you less, give you less. No, I'll give you more problems. Ah, how beautiful it is. He's the stupid one, right? And yet he's the one who's accessing all the time, incidentally. Yeah. What? Accessing incidentally all the time, because he's the stupid one, right? You know, the good guys always come in last, right? Isn't that the rule? The good guys come in last? It was complete restriction, it was the anti. It has to be the Masach. If there was complete restriction, all the light was coming. Then you wouldn't be involved with a Masach. The only time the restriction comes in is when? See, when you close your television. Why do you close it? Because someone just walked in, you can't hear, your telephone rang. Why do you close your television? You can open it up again, aren't you? Or you gotta go to sleep. You can open it up tomorrow. So when you really close it, did you close it? Did you really close your television? No, you didn't. Because you would tend to open it up again, don't you? What do you call closing? What do you call closing? You've made a firm decision. I'm going to close the television. Is that true? Is that true when you close the television? Every time you close the television, you made a firm decision, never to open it again. Don't you see how you're wishy-washy isn't even in that little aspect of opening or closing the television? But we don't think that way. So that the guy in the street doesn't think that way. So that's why he lives in a world of illusion. He lives in the world of a sock, wishy-washy, back and forth. And why aren't things stabilized is the complaint? Why is it? Oh, because there's uncertainty in the world. What can you do about it? We're learning that you can do something about it. The rule of restriction. It is the rule. That's the simplest rule. He's the guy who comes in last all the time. Lets everybody run in front of him. Lets everybody move into the line. So am I saying that you should let everybody, you should stand in one place and let everybody move in front of you on the line? Right? So once I gave you the answer, well, there's a limit, you know. You can't be a fool, you gotta... But you want me to tell you something? The guy who doesn't move, stands where he is, everybody's moving in front of him, he'll get along down the line, he'll get there faster than all the others who are running in front of him. Oh, we don't see it, though. We see everybody moving like in Israel. You go on and stand on line in the bank, everybody's in a rush, right? So they all move in before you. There's no line. The line is this way. Who's going to dance first, right? Right? The guy, and the stupid guy, well, he's standing and letting everybody run. So he's the good guy, right? I'm telling you. The Ali will do that. I can't tell you I will do it. Because I'm waiting now 2 hours in the bank, 300 people gone in front of me, because I can't take that first step. You remember the little incident with the first step? You see how we're relating it. Right? He didn't take the first step. The answer is, when he made up his mind, he already took the first step. The first step was restriction. I'm not going to cross the street. I'm not going to rush in front of the guy. He'll get...
Okay. I wanted to just hear the Rav's voice, and there's something very powerful. He said, when you go to the bank, and he said, that's what the Ari would do. It's like everyone's rushing into the line, and the person wants to get reactive, he wants to get in front of the line, and if he lets go, and he does restriction, and he doesn't cut, somehow he'll get to the front of the line before everybody else. Right? Has it ever happened to you? When you rush to get to the shortest line, and then 5 aisles down, they open a new register, and you could have been the one that gets there. But it's always the reactive one comes out last. And that's what the Rav says. We think the stupid person is the person who does the restriction, but it's not. Okay. So let's go to the next slide here, slide 4. This is something that, slide 4. Every time we say a blessing, you've heard this announcement before. We go, Baruch Atah, we say the name of God, Hashem, and then we say Eloheinu. And there's an announcement that's said when we say Eloheinu, and we say Yud Lamed He. Yud Lamed He. What is Yud Lamed He? Yud Lamed He is from the 72 names of God, which is sweetening judgment. Okay? So you see here, these letters, Yud, Lamed, and He, are the 3 middle letters of the name of God, Eloheinu. We pull them out and we sweeten the judgment. Why? Because the name of God, Eloheinu, is the name of judgment. It's whenever the Creator is doing something judgmental or destructive in the Bible, we use this name. Whenever the Creator is doing something merciful, we use the actual name of God, the Tetragrammaton. So every time you hear this word Eloheinu, you're going to hear the meditation, Yud Lamed He. Meaning, quickly take out the letters of Eloheinu, rearrange them, and you have the 72 names of God for sweetening judgment. Okay? Let's go to the next slide. All the time when you hear the word atah, you say Baruch atah. What is the announcement? Really quickly someone says Aleph Tav Machud. You heard this? Aleph Tav Machud. What is he saying? He's saying Aleph to the Taf. Aleph to the Taf. What is Aleph to the Taf? It's the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Aleph to the Taf, the last letter. Aleph to the Taf. You see, Atah is Aleph, Taf, and then what's the final letter? It's Hey. So if you look at the name of God, here, the Hey is Malchut. So we're taking Aleph to Taf, which is all the secrets of creation, because all the Hebrew letters include all the secrets of creation. So it's really all the light. You're taking all the light from Aleph to Taf, and you're putting it in the vessel called the Hey of Malchut, because Malchut is the vessel. So Atah means Aleph to the Taf of the Hey of Malchut. And that's what the announcement is saying. Aleph Taf Te Malchut. When you say it really fast, that's what it sounds like. So that's the meditation, that I'm uniting light and vessel, and especially on Shabbat, which all of Shabbat is about uniting light and vessel. And now we have another paradox. Because the paradox is, wait 1 second, light and vessel coming together? Oh, clarity, fulfillment, but I just learned to do what? Push it away, so it's both at the same time. I'm connecting, and I'm letting go at the same time. Oh, double the pleasure. Double the pleasure. And if you're thinking no pleasure, then you are living in the illusion. Because in the reality of the light, it's double the pleasure. You get, and you get to let go. How amazing is that? You just won the lottery, you got all this pleasure, and now you're donating it. Double the pleasure. Don't you feel good when you're giving charity? More or less, don't you feel good after you broke it? Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. So you receive the money, which is pleasurable, and then you give it away. It's also pleasurable. Double the light. Direct and returning light. So Aleph to the Taf Te Malchut is light and vessel coming together. Also, you always meditate. Wait a second. Light and vessel, I want to let go. Next meditation. Slide. See, Aleph to the Taf, the Hey Malchut. Want to see that again? There it is. All right. You're very excited about that? All right. Slide 6. Another meditation is when we say Baruch Atah Hashem, we say Baruch Atah, and then we say the name of God, which we say it as Adonai. Right? Then you hear someone say Baruch Hu Shemo. Hear this? Baruch Hu Shemo. So what is he saying? He's saying Baruch Hu, Baruch Shemo. Baruch Hu is blessed, is he, and blessed is his name. Okay? Okay, there's a mistake up in the slide, so I'm going to write it up here for you. Baruch Hu, Baruch Shemo. It's blessed is he, and blessed is his name. Okay? Who cares? Blessed is he, blessed is his name. Why is it that every time we say the name of God, we say blessed is he and blessed is his name? It's because Baruch always connects you to Binah. What does Baruch always connect you to? Binah. So the energy intelligence of Binah is always Baruch. Now there's a very famous verse in the 10 luminous emanations. It says in the endless world, he and his name are one. Why? Because he is the light. His name, which is Shemo, is the same numerical value as Ratzon, which is desire, which is the vessel. So when we say he and his name are one, we're saying the light and the vessel are one. Again, fulfillment coming into the vessel. So every time we say the name of God, we say, blessed is He, the light, and blessed is the vessel. So we're saying that the light, which is He, is connecting to His name, which is the vessel. And we're saying blessed, so it's like we're connecting it all to the realm of Binah. Because in Shabbat, we're in Binah also. All right? That's a deep, I think we did a couple of deep ones. Take a moment now, share the concepts, actually be able to say the meditations out loud to the person next to you. Okay? Go for it. Okay. All right. Yes, questions. Is this an exciting lecture? Are you guys excited about these meditations that you've never maybe heard before in your life, or maybe in this way? This isn't the, I know it's not the exciting Zohar class, but it's also exciting Baruch Hu, Baruch Shemo. Yes?
So I've come to the services and heard that people yell out these things, and I always wonder, is it one person designated to yell out a separate thing, like one person focusing on one of those meditations, or is it just people inspired at the time?
Okay. The question is, with the announcing, is it a person who's designated with saying those things, or is it just said to inspire? There's a person who announces, okay? The announcer's job is to shout out as many meditations as possible, and the audience's job is to awaken the consciousness from what they hear. So now, when you hear Aleph Tav Tei Malchut, you go, oh my God, I just learned that. It's the Aleph to the Tav, which is all the secrets and energy of the Hebrew letters. It's going into the Hey of Malchut, which is my vessel. But then I also learned an additional meditation, which is what do I need to do? Push it back. I don't want it. Oh, what pleasure. Double the pleasure. Let's move on to the next meditation. And that's what you hear. And you see what happens is you become busy with the light. And the more a person is busy with the light, the less he's busy with darkness. So these meditations you can do all day long to be busy with the light. Right? So now what have we learned so far? A typical blessing you hear is Baruch Atah. And then the announcer goes, Al Tafte Malchut. And then the guy says, Adonai. And the announcer says, Baruch Hu Shemo. And then the guy says, Eloheinu. And what does the announcer say? Lamed Hey. So let's do it now together, okay? I will be the one saying the prayer. You will be the announcer. Baruch Atah. That was horrible. Only one person said it, and that's because he announces every day. All right? Everybody at the same time. Baruch Atah. Hashem. No, but you said Baruch Hu, Baruch Shemo. Okay? Baruch Atah. Hashem. Elokeinu. Very good. You're all ready to announce. All right? Now, let's go to the most powerful concept of the night. The whole structure of a blessing. Okay? Slide 7, you see that the light comes down throughout the worlds, right? And it ends up in this famous realm we call Malchut. The Malchut is unstable or fragile if it's just connecting to direct light. Okay, we learned that. When the light just comes down and hits my Malchut, it's very unstable. I need to create returning light. So when we bless something, listen very carefully. When I bless a piece of fruit, somehow my blessing is drawing the direct light, of course, but somehow it's creating a returning light. And we're going to learn how it does that very specifically. Let's go to slide number 8. All right. Let's go skip slide number 8. Let's go to slide number 9. A structure of a Kabbalistic blessing. There's always two dimensions that exist, and that's Keter and Chokhmah. Because Keter and Chokhmah is always from the point of view of the light, not of the vessel. The vessel only became awakened in the realm of Binah. Because we know in the 4 phases of how a vessel is built, Binah is the second phase. And Binah is when the vessel said, I don't want to receive. It's the first time the vessel made a decision is in the world of Binah. Chokhmah, it just received passively, didn't have a say in it. Binah was the first time that the vessel said, no, I don't want. Okay? So when we say Baruch, we're building. What we're doing every time we say a blessing is we're building a structure. What are we doing to a structure? We're building it. Very good. We're building a structure. So every time I say Baruch, I build the realm of Binah. That's Baruch. When I say Atah, I build the vessel of Chesed. Just the vessel. That's all I build is just the vessel. A little place to hold the light. But the light hasn't come from Binah yet. I want you to look at this for a moment. Baruch establishes Binah. That's great. Atah establishes a blank circle where Chesed should be. So it's just the vessel of Chesed. The light has not come from Binah yet. When I say the name of God, Adonai, or we say Hashem, we build the vessel of Tiferet. Still, no light is being drawn. No light yet. When I say Elokeinu, I'm building the vessel of Givurah. Why Givurah? Who can tell me why Givurah? Left column, judgment. And Elokeinu is the name of judgment. And every time we have the word Elokeinu, what meditation do we use to sweeten the judgment? Yud Lamed Hey, right? So if I said Atah, what would you say? Everybody? Horrible. Horrible. Aleph to the top of the Hey Malchut. Al Tav to Malchut. Say it. Very good. I'm taking away your free will. See? Now, so far, you're blessing something. Let's say you're blessing this water. Blessing water, right? No, can't use water because it's not the same blessing. Let's say you're blessing your hands in the morning, right? You wash your hands. You want to do a blessing on your hands, okay? So I say, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu, and I build Binah, and I build the vessels of Chesed, Givurah, and Tiferet. The next word is, anybody know? Melech HaOlam. King of the world. No, it's not Netzach. What does Melech HaOlam do? I want you to see it again. Melech HaOlam pushes the three dimensions to the world of Binah. It's the returning light. There's a restriction that's happening with Melech HaOlam. What does Melech HaOlam mean in English? King of the world. So the restriction draws Tiferet, Givurah, and Chesed back into Binah to be sweetened by the energy of Binah. This is returning the light to the king of the world. Basically, we're saying, I don't want it. I want everything for the king. I don't want to enjoy it for myself. I'm about to wash my hands. I'm about to eat a piece of fruit. I'm about to do a precept, a positive commandment. And you know what? If I was religious, or I'm thinking with religiosity, give me the energy, all for me. But what does the blessing mean? Rav Ashag explains, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam. For the king, not for me. Melech HaOlam. Can you do that with your hands? Everybody. Just so you remember. Melech HaOlam. Say it. Melech HaOlam. I don't want it. I'm letting it go. Oh, but the energy was coming and now you're telling me let it go? Yes. You're pushing your vessel. You're pushing whatever you're blessing up to Binah. I'm doing restriction. I'm letting it go. It's for the king. It's not for me. Now, you tell me, every time you push it back to the Creator, what does the Creator do? He sends it right back to you with more force. Like, what are you doing? Take it already. And that's what the rest of the blessing does. Melech HaOlam. Then you have Asher. What is Asher? Comes from the word Ishur. What is Ishur? Permission. Acceptance. It's like a stamp of approval. Asher, same letter word for permission, which is Ishur. It reflects Binah, giving permission for the vessels of Chesed, Givurah, and Tiferet to continue to draw down the light. So Binah says, oh, here you go. I give you permission. Asher, Ishur, go. Here's the light. Take it. The Creator doesn't want to hold on to it. All his job is to give. And we think that if we push it back, it's going to be gone forever. It comes with more force. Asher, we get the permission. But now, we're doing something with permission. That's a huge thing. What is bread Hashem? When I take something without permission. Every time I eat a piece of food without this consciousness, forget about, even if you don't say the blessing, but as long as you have this consciousness, you're awakening permission to eat. Because the fruit's not yours. Yeah, but I bought it from the farmer's market. What do you want from me? It's not yours. It's the Creator's. And every time we eat fruit or food without permission from Binah, we short circuit. My consciousness goes down. So why do I want to say a blessing? Because the blessing is awakening a reality by which I obtain permission to connect to the light within this food. Make sense? And Asher Kitshanu. Kitshanu is what brings the light down to Tiferet. So Asher, if I may stand here for a moment, Asher, Binah says, okay, you may come. Kitshanu pulls it down to Tiferet. Make sense? Any questions? We're coming to the rest. Kitshanu. Then we have b'mitzvotav. B'mitzvotav establishes netzach and hod and draws the light down. Vetzivanu is yesod. And then malchut is whatever you're blessing. Al netilat yadayim. Okay? Kitshanu is bringing the light from Binah to Tiferet. Asher was just giving the permission. Like when you go to customs and they stamp, customs stamps you. So Asher is the stamp. Says you can go. But then you need to actually go. That's Kitshanu. Kitshanu is the actual going. Asher is the stamp that you can go. Yeah, all three of them, exactly. Yeah. I'm going to answer that as well. I'll answer. The question was, not all blessings have Asher Kitshanu b'mitzvah v'tzivanu. Some blessings are just Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, and then Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, Borei pri haaretz, or whatever it is. Now, why is it sometimes shorter? The shorter blessings are blessings that are just, how can I explain this? It's blessing for things that come just from the light. Like bread, it's coming just from the light. Fruit and food, it's coming just from the light. Kitshanu, all of these steps are things that we do. It represents a lower level of energy and dimension because it's stuff that we need to do, right? Washing of the hands. Or another one is putting on tefillin. It has Asher Kitshanu b'savetzon. It's because it's something we do. It doesn't come from the light. It's something we need to do to awaken the light. But bread, or any type of food, it already has the light. So we don't need to do anything. So the blessing is shorter. The blessing is longer. The blessing is longer. It's because we need to do something. Kitshanu, we need to make it holy. It's our participation. It's the returning light is involved in that case. Okay? Shorter blessings is just things that already has intrinsic light within it. Longer blessings is when we need to do something to connect to that energy. That if we don't do it, the energy won't happen. If I don't put on tefillin, I don't reveal the energy of tefillin. But if I don't eat the bread's still the bread. The bread's still the energy. Yes?
So how does that work with the sphirot specifically? So if you draw everything down to the end that they put.
I don't know how it works with the sphirot, exactly, to tell you the truth. But it's still the same consciousness, in my opinion, which I never would like to go with my opinion, but what do I meditate on? Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam already is all the consciousness. It's like I'm pushing the light back, and the way I see it is Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, the malchut, I just bring it to the malchut. That's what I think.
But you just
Right. I'm just skipping the Netzach Hod Yesod, which is my process. It's just coming directly from the light. Well, yeah. Okay? Makes sense? All right? Okay. Great. Sorry. So please, yes, questions?
Last week we learned about the reading of the Torah. How does, if we're revealing the blessing, revealing the blessing, how is going with the reading of the Torah in Shabbat?
Now, every time we do a blessing, again, let's talk about the general consciousness of a blessing. What did you learn is the general consciousness of a blessing? Always Baruch. Every blessing starts with Baruch, which is Bina. Bina. Always. Okay? And also another way of looking at the blessings is Baruch is almost the same letters as, how do you say ni in Hebrew? Berech. Right? Why? What does the ni do? The ni connects the two parts of the leg. Okay? So Baruch, meditation for Baruch. Baruch is the same letters as Berech almost, which is the ni. And what does the ni do? The ni connects. That's why in many prayers we bend the knee, because we're connecting. That's the energy of the connection. You see, many times we do this, because we're Baruch. The knees are representing the connection that's about to occur. Now, what kind of connection? Connecting Aleph to Taf, which is Atah, right? Atah. And what is Aleph to Taf? It's all the Hebrew letters, which is all the vessels that exist in this world. All the Hebrew letters. So I'm connecting all the Hebrew letters, which is all the vessels, to the name of God. Baruch atah Hashem, which is the light. So general meditation is I'm always connecting the light and vessel together. And in certain cases, actually in all cases, we want to meditate to also inject the energy of letting go. That's why after every Torah reading, you have the man who got all the energy sharing the energy. Always there's a restriction involved in everything that you do. Always there's a receiving and then a giving. A receiving and then a giving. And if a person doesn't have this consciousness, and he receives too much, he starts to have ego. And he starts to short circuit. Yes?
So we have blessings for food and things like that. We have blessings for actions. Why do we have blessings in that?
Why do we have blessings like in prayers? Yeah. Like in the Amidah and stuff?
What is my connection there?
Okay. Because in the Amidah, there's different, also if you look at the meditations of the Amidah, you have different dimensions that are involved. Okay? I have to look exactly in the prayer book again. But for example, in the Amidah that a man does in the morning, a certain amount of prayers that you have. The first set of prayers opens the dimensions of energy within the world of Zeir and Pin. And the second set of the prayers, you don't have to know this, just for the overall picture. The second set of prayers opens the dimensions for the world of Malchut. And then in the very end, when we say Sim Shalom, we bring the Zeir and Pin and Malchut together. Every time we have a blessing, we're opening a new chakra of energy, a new channel of energy. For example, in the Amidah, there's so many meditations. When a person starts the Amidah and he says, Baruch Atah, if you look in the margins, there's secrets of joining the upper and lower worlds. Because how many times does a man bow in the Amidah? How many times? 4 times. And they all connect to the 4-letter name of God that exists in Zeir and Pin and the 4-letter name of God that exists in Malchut, and you bring them together. Okay? It's a little deep. I don't want to go into too much. But every time you do a blessing, when it comes to prayers, you're opening the gate of Binah within the prayer. You're opening the energy up, and you're channeling the energy down and manifesting it. Opening, manifesting, which is always Zerampin, Malchut. Zerampin, Malchut. I mean, there's a lot of different angles and aspects to it. So it's not just like one straightforward way of looking at it. But you always have the meditation of opening up a gate, opening up the gate, pushing the energy back, drawing it down. Opening up a gate, pushing the energy back, drawing it down. Because by pushing it back, we need to receive permission. Permission. Okay? And it's not always like that clear, I know. Because there's so many different types of blessings and so many different types of ways of looking at it. Any other questions? So next week will be our final class about Shabbat. And we'll be talking about many other different codes and secrets, and hopefully about the third meal, and Havdalah, and what is the meditations behind them, as well as the Shema Yisrael, and the Potech et Yedecha. Hopefully we'll go into all the deeper secrets of all those things. So thank you guys very much. See you next week.